12 moments you wouldn't believe if not filmed. Sometimes there are things so bizarre or mind-boggling in fighting that if someone told you they happened, you simply wouldn't believe them. Today we have 12 moments just like that. These moments are so shocking that you'll have to double take to make sure that they actually happened. Luckily enough, these moments were filmed so we can all prove that they actually happened. Let's look at 12 moments you wouldn't believe if not filmed. Before we get into our list, remember to give us a thumbs up and a quick click on our subscribe button to get more videos like this one. For now, let's look at 12 unbelievable moments. Our first clip is from a crazy junior wrestling match in Denver, where it all turns a bit WWE. The very lenient referee in this match amazingly allows one of the wrestlers to continue after delivering punches to his opponent. It comes as no surprise when the match continues that the same kid starts swinging again, and the referee decides to step in, albeit way after he should have done. Next up is another wrestling video, but this one is a little more mature in more ways than one. One of the competitors in this particular bout decided to use a move that's known as checking the oil in the amateur wrestling community. It's an unorthodox move where a competitor decides to stick his finger in his opponent's butt. It's not strictly a legal move, which is why the referee decides to step in to slap the hand of the offender away. But it is surprisingly common in the amateur wrestling world. Our next video is something that often draws some crazy moments, and it's the stare down at the weigh-in. In this particular crazy moment, one of the fighters decides to throw his towel at the other fighter. The recipient of this presumably sweaty towel was not the least pleased and retaliated with a punch before entourages stepped in and attempted to break up the fight. We then go to the world of boxing and a truly shocking fight between Danny Williams and Mark Potter. Williams' shoulder dislocates out of its socket, so you're thinking fight over, right? Wrong. He continues with a completely useless right arm and without a guard, fights on with only his left arm working. With amazing grit and determination, Williams continues to fight on through what must have been unimaginable pain. The commentators are baffled as he fights on, presumably just for pride, but then he shocks everyone by getting some clean hits in on his opponent and with only one arm wins the fight by TKO. What's the one thing you probably shouldn't do to your MMA opponent? Answers on a postcard. Before we reveal the answer, but Joel Schott arguably demonstrated it when staring down his opponent in a 2009 cage match in Wyoming. The pre-fight ritual started like most others with an intense stare down, with both fighters getting so close to each other they could have kissed. Well, Schott took this idea a little too far and blew a kiss to his counterpart a few seconds later. This poor sportsmanship got him punched and a brawl ensued. Back to boxing now and a bout between Marcus Maidana and Adrian Brawner. It's pretty normal for boxers to corner each other in the ring. What's not so normal is for one to mime humping the other from behind. Well, this is exactly what Brawner decided to do to Maidana. The crowd was not happy and instantly started booing, but Maidana got his revenge and returned the favor later on in the fight. Our seventh clip proves that it doesn't just hurt guys when they get caught in between the legs. This female MMA bout in Korea shows that a hit to the groin can hurt just as bad for women too. One of the fighters here gets a kick right between the legs, and the result is similar to what would happen if a man took this hit. The fight is stopped and the fighter needed a timeout to get help from her corner. It's no wonder. The kick is a no-holds-barred shin to a sensitive area. It's enough to make anyone wince, regardless of gender. Our next video stays with MMA, but back to the male discipline. In a match between the USA's Don Fire and Japan's Yoshihiro Takayama, the two fighters start off with an erratic exchange of punches, with neither attempting to block. With Takayama's nose streaming with blood, the blows to the head continue. Eventually, the referee has to stop the fight, with Fire pinning the Japanese fighter to the floor, delivering yet more punishment to his face. The fight was a true slugfest that threw the playbook out the window. Next is something that you never consider when you're watching a fight: the importance of a mouthpiece. When one of these went missing in a UFC fight between Alex Morono and Rhys McKee, the referee had to go looking for it. The fight was halted as Morono knocks McKee's mouthguard out, and it bounces into the crevice between the canvas and the cage. Officials needed to go under the octagon before the mouthpiece was actually found, washed off, and put back into McKee's mouth, allowing the fight to resume. Our next video also doesn't actually feature any fighting. What it does feature is a bizarre ring announcer named Scott Farrell, who manages to crowbar in reference to a strap-on, amongst other bizarre ramblings, before eventually announcing the fighters after the most long-winded and monotone introduction of all time.
2 victories apiece for these badasses and warriors, ready for the heavyweight title and grabbing that strap on.
He should feel lucky the fighters didn't turn on him. Have you ever wondered what it would look like if an incredibly large man fought an exceptionally short one? Our next video answers this, although to be honest, it must be an exhibition as no actual punches are thrown. What we do see, however, is the big man literally holding his opponent at arm's length, followed by our little friend darting between his massive counterpart's legs. The clip ends with the little fighter being picked up in something resembling WWE. No one wants to be the guy who fails when everyone else is kicking ass. Well, that's the unfortunate fate of one man at this karate meet. The exhibitionists happily smash planks of wood in true karate style, except for one man who waits a little too long before eventually disappointing himself as well as the rest of the audience. He goes to kick the wood only to see it fall off its block mounts still intact. More unfortunate for him was the fact that someone was filming it. So that's it for our videos. Which was your favorite? Please let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to Brutal TV for more top fighting videos just like this one.